Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I kind of wanted to do a follow on to the last video I did on the Palette Custom A23 and the various nibs. In today's video, I'm going to talk a little bit about the Palette Custom Heritage 912 and the two nibs that I have in these. Have pretty interesting nibs that I really enjoy. So the first up, we have the Heritage 912 with a FA nib. So this is a super flexi nib. And then we have a Heritage 912 with a PO or posting nib. And these nibs are pretty different. They're pretty much on the extremes as far as the line weights that are offered by the two pens. So you can see that these are just basic resin pens, shaped kind of like the Sailor Pro Gear. So these are just a bit bigger than the Pro Gear that I have. The Pro Gear is a little shorter than these, and I like the size of these a little bit better than the Pro Gear. I also like the way that these write a little bit better as well. The Pro Gear, to me, they're a little, at least mine are a little scratchy. I do like them, but I just prefer these a little bit. So I'm going to do some writing samples on these. I'll start with the FA nib. This was the first Heritage 912 that I bought, the FA nib. And here's the nib up close. There you can see the nib. You can see it has some cutouts there. And there's the feed. This is a super flexy nib. It does remind me quite a bit of the performance of the vintage flex nibs that I have. So I'll show you how this writes. Oops, did it dry out a little bit? Palette. Custom. I think whenever you see a custom Heritage, they have others other than the 912. I think they just mean that these have the flat finials. And this is a 912. And this is a FA nib. It's 14 karat. And this, some of the line weights that you get. Reverse, it's very super fine in reverse, but it does work. Do some figure eights so you can see there's a little bit of railroading. To fix that, it doesn't really bother me, but I know a lot of people have upgraded their feeds. There is a site somewhere where you can get replacement feeds for these. I guess they're ebonite feeds maybe that do a little bit better job of keeping up with the ink flow, so you won't get any railroading. I don't flex it that hard when I'm using it typically, so this doesn't really happen to me usually, but I just wanted you to see some of the extremes that you get. But from what I've seen online, people do prefer the upgraded nibs to, the upgraded feed to this feed that you have here. So that's the Custom Heritage 912 with the FA nib, and they do come with the Con 70. And this one is almost empty. And this one I got on eBay for $163. I'm sorry, not eBay, Amazon. For $163, and I think they are, if you want to go through a retailer, they are $280. I think I saw it on Goulet, which is not bad for a a palette pen with a gold nib, especially with the FA nib. I think it's worth the $280, but if you don't mind subpar packaging, which I don't, that's why I went with the cheaper price. I'm always looking out for a bargain, because you know, if I save $120, that's a whole pen there for me. So that's the FA nib. So now I'm going to talk about the posting nib. Now I think I saw this on Yoseca's one of their videos, and I was like, that looks like a good nib. And then I clicked on it on Amazon, clicked the purchase, and for some reason I had this moment of regret, because I thought it was going to be a little bit too scratchy, because it's so fine, and I thought, man, that's going to be like one of those sailors. But luckily it didn't turn out that way. It's a very, very fine point. These nibs were used in Japan for letter writing. I think it's called posting, for like envelopes and that sort of thing. So it's a very, very fine point, and it is very good for letter writing, also for journaling. So this is the type of nib that I would use in my daily writing. So this is a PO, or posting nib. It's also 14 karat. Unlike the FA nib, it is very rock solid. But another nice thing about this nib is that when you put it in reverse, you get a bunch of different line weights. So I can be like this in reverse, and then I can be like that. So there's just multiple line weights that you can get. The more horizontal you go, the thicker of a line weight that you can get. But which I rarely do unless I'm coloring or something, but I love this nib. I think this is probably my second favorite nib, behind my second favorite pilot nib, behind my medium 823 nib. I could just write with this fine point all day, but you know, if fine is not your thing, then this is definitely not. If fine and very firm nibs aren't your thing, then this won't be for you. This is probably one of those things where you either like it or you hate it type of deal. So this is the nib up close. You can see it has a little downturn there. And it's a 14 karat, beautiful custom heritage 912 nib. There's the feed, nothing special. Just a cool nib, and I love the firmness. I love the grip that I can get on this. I think I've mentioned in previous videos I like nibs where I can feel like I'm in control, and this is one of those nibs I just feel like I have a lot of control over. And again, this also has the Con 70 that's included. And this I also bought on Amazon, and it was $169. So I really, as I said before, I really enjoyed these Heritage 912s. This is a good choice if you don't like the torpedo shaped pens. I do prefer the look of these a little bit more, and you can get all the other different normal pilot nib options that you get in the 823. I'm not sure if the SIG nib is offered in this yet, but I'm sure at some point it will be. But you have all the nibs from the the Waverly to the Music nib, I think, broad, double broad, coarse, all those pilot nibs. I think Goulet's site had all the different nibs, and they also did some writing samples, and it showed you how all the different nibs functioned and the line weights that they provided. So that's really about it. Kind of a short video today, just talking a little bit about the Custom Heritage 912. I've been meaning to talk about this pen for a while, especially when I just had this one. But then not too long ago I got this one. So I thought it'd be a good opportunity to kind of follow on with my last video. And the paper I used today was just some plain old Rhodia dot grid. And in this one I had Pilot Iroshizuku Zero. And in the posting I had the Pilot Iroshizuku Yamabudo. And that's how it looks up close. So that is it for today. Thanks everyone for watching, and I will catch you next time. I think my next video will probably be my currently inked for the month of July. So until then, everyone take care.